Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Eric Martin, Keller Williams Realty, metropolitan area. I was going to talk about a couple different subjects today, but one popped up yesterday on one of the Facebook groups that I'm a member of, and I thought it was beneficial to talk about that today for most buyers than it would be the other topics right now. And that topic is scammers and how to avoid them. Yesterday I was on the Facebook group, like I said, and there was a buyer who lived in state A who was buying a house in state B. I don't know much of the backstory except for what was really written, and to sum it all up, this person went into an open house with somebody, I guess either being an agent or claiming to be an agent, and wound up somehow purchasing this house, but she never really purchased the house. When she got to the state B to look at the house, and she wound up calling the listing agent, and the listing agent told her that there is no contract for that house. And it turned out that this person she was working with, the buyer was working with, was, I guess, a scam artist. They took $5,000 from her. They left her homeless, jobless, because she left her other previous job in state, and unfortunately she didn't meet the approval to get a loan or a mortgage to purchase the house right then and there. So she was basically left out in the cold. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about, is that realtors are everywhere. I know it. We have thousands and thousands of realtors in every state. And a lot of times we meet by coincidence, whether we're standing in line in a supermarket, or if we're doing a event somewhere, or just, walking around wherever it would be. As realtors, we're always got our ears open with who's buying, who's selling, and we're always there to hand out a card or give some advice. Fortunately, you never really know who they are. And with technology these days, it's very, very easy to Photoshop somebody's business card, make their own website, anything like that to portray who they really aren't. So, if that happens, and especially I would think working from one state to another state, you could easily get taken, and I don't want to see that happen. So, if by chance you meet somebody who says they're a realtor, all right, there's a few ways you can combat that just to make sure that they are who they are, if you don't feel comfortable about it. And that is, A, call their brokerage that's on their card. Ask them, who do you work for? Who do you work with? Call that brokerage and ask for the branch manager, and they will be able to tell you whether or not this person is a member of their brokerage or office, and whatsoever after that. Second would be to call the MLS board. They have all of their information on file. You just have to hope that they are a member of that MLS board, because there are a few that cover certain areas and double up. So you may have to call 2 or 3 of them if that's the case. The last thing would be to call a state that you reside in, or they supposedly reside in and work in. And then that way they'll definitely have record of whether or not they are licensed, whether they're in good standing, whether they've been suspended, things like that. So in order to, combat that end of it, there's a few things that you should really never do when you're after an attorney review in a contract. And with a few minor exceptions, and this is probably later on in the transaction, would be to write a check to a personal person. All right, if you're writing a check for a down payment on a house, all right, it's usually made out to the brokerage firm, where they will hold the money and put it in an escrow account. The lawyer, either the buyer or the seller, depending on who's holding the money, and it would be to their firm. The other thing that you would never want to do is answer an email that you may get. And this really pertains to mostly buyers more than sellers, because the buyers are the ones that are putting out the money. And that would be an email scam that they've been doing for many years, and that is to wire you money or wire them money. and that would be sent from a fake email from a title company or a lawyer stating that you have to send X amount of dollars so we can continue with your process of purchasing this home. Now, of course, somebody's going to see that and be like, oh my God, I don't want to lose my house, and they jump the gun and they send off the money. What you should do is either A, contact your realtor and say, hey, I got this email. Your attorney, the same thing. Anybody that's involved with your contract, contact before you do anything. Because more than likely, 90% of it is all bogus, and they're just looking to get money out of you. There's been many stories, you can even look it up online, I'm sure, that people have been milked for tens of thousands of dollars on this scam. The last thing I would say would be, and this is going to jump back to my first video or second video with buyers, and that's the inspections. You know, if you have an inspector come out to your house, I would say 99 to 100% of them collect their fee after they do the inspection. I have yet to work with anybody that asks for the money up front. And if they ask for the money up front, more than likely, I would say don't trust them. Because there's a good possibility that even if they are legit, that money might get lost. Your contract may have gotten disappeared. And if they don't show up, you know, it's kind of tough to kind of get something done after that. So most inspectors will take their money after they do the job and give you a receipt right there, right on the spot. They'll give you a written receipt of what they did, how much you paid. So just following these few steps will save you from being doing these few steps will save you from being screwed out of money, possibly losing a house, losing a deal. You know, so just be aware. You know, do your due diligence on everything that we do. You know, even the realtors that you use, maybe you want to just do a little background check on them. The inspectors, the mortgage people, you know, are they good? Are they not good? Are they reputable? Are they not reputable? Things like that, because even the smallest little detail can blow up a deal, and you don't want something like that to happen. So, you know, just be aware of the scammers out there. They're getting probably a little bit more brazen now, especially with the internet and being able to do certain things like hack emails and things like that. So you just really got to watch what you do. Don't send any money out to anybody. Don't write any personal checks to anybody until you definitely know that it's going to somebody, you know, that's doing what they're supposed to be doing. All right. Hopefully this little detail helped you out. Didn't irk you too bad about the buying process, but just helped you out knowing that these things are going on, these scams are going on, and you just got to really watch yourselves. All right. Check my video out next week. Subscribe down below. Hit the like button, and have a good weekend.